Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. Yes, indeed. And in fact, for the first time in I don't know how long, it's been like a week. It's not raining this morning. Yay! It's still dim, and gray. You know, I guess grim is sort of a mix between dim and gray. But it's dim and gray outside, you know, but it's not raining. And when I went walkies last night, it was not raining. So that's a good thing. Definitely a thumbs up on that. You know, we need the rain after the dry summers we have now. The rain is good, so thumbs up on that. But it's nice to have variety. Thumbs up. A very good thing. Past that, just surviving, and that's good. So, of course, preloading of the video, if you could engage with the YouTube algorithms and hit the like button if you like and hear what you see, and of course if you could subscribe to the channel, and that would be cool. If you like and hear what you see, definitely a good thing. Stumbling because for some reason my mouth wanted to start talking about something completely different from what I'm talking about right now, and my brain was sort of on track and there was a minor collision there. But survived it. Definitely a good thing. And of course, I do want to thank each and every one of my Patreon.com patrons. These are beautiful and awesome people that are helping to keep me alive. It is a very good thing. I'm on disability, extremely limited income, and oh boy, the cost of living is much greater than what I make. So these beautiful and awesome people, as stated, are helping to keep me alive, and that's very cool. If you could become a patron, that too would be very awesome. Of course, do not feel obligated in any way, shape, or form, but if you would like to, in the video description there is a link. Now, if the text up there was still there, or I took my hands down too fast or too slow, my apologies. My time sense is no good, but hopefully I didn't look too silly, like, you know, holding my hands up with nothing, or going down and starting to talk with text all still over my face. Yay. But life is life, you know. Survival is good, and I'm still at least surviving. Thumbs up for that, a very good thing. Yay. Next month I have my colonoscopy. Hopefully things are still okay. It was 2018 when I had my last one, and they took out 20 polyps. Oh boy, my abdomen burned for days after that. It was nasty. So hopefully it's not going to be that bad. Here's hoping. Yay. Past that though, just surviving. Didn't do a whole lot yesterday, but I did some, and that's good. And while I spent the whole time yesterday ranting about political sort of stuff, I didn't really want to do all that. I try not to dip too much into like politics and why I don't like this and left versus right and center, and I try not to, because politics is inflammatory, and while I don't make too much of a secret of my politics, I mean, I'm way left-leaning, I try not to just bring it up I don't want it to be a lightning rod. I want to talk about other stuff. Again, I want to talk about the things I want to talk about. I don't like being forced to talk about stuff in the outside world, you know, current events, unless I want to talk about them. So, yeah. But still, you know, things are things, and that's good. But I did want to try and remember some of the things that I've seen this morning, and not just necessarily this morning, and some of the stuff that's kind of odd. And I'm going to talk about this one. I want to start with this one first because it's something that really struck me the other day, because I was on Twitter and I started talking about, before I vlogged about this, I started talking about, and I'm followed by about like 3,500 people. I maybe on a good day get, 10 likes on something and maybe 1 or 2 retweets. But I don't mind. I treat it as the internet diary. And I talked about some of the stuff going on in the Razor's Edge real quick, about 8 real quick tweets. And somebody engaged. They wanted to know, why would people live in Apple Rock if this stuff is happening? And so I described, well, it's not constant, it's, there's this sort of thing, it's good for the local economy. And they were like, well, still, I don't understand. If this thing rampages, why do people live there? And so I explained, well, why do people do the things we do? I live in the Pacific Northwest. We live on the Pacific Rim Ring of Fire sort of thing, that we are overdue for a huge earthquake here because we are on a fault line. And when it snaps, it's going to be so bad, it's likely there's going to be huge amounts of casualties. We know it's coming. I live here. I've made it an effort to live here my whole life, knowing that at any time this could go. Likely, the chances of it happening in my lifetime, vanishingly small. But it's gonna happen. And then I mentioned how I could just name, 4 volcanoes around the world, active, where there's over 100 million people that live around these. And if those things go, that's a lot of people dead. And they were like, well, I sort of understand, but, I can't really, but that's okay. And commended me for the stuff, and that was good. It was a nice conversation. It was really good. There was nothing bad about it. And then as they were just saying, I'll try that in English. All the things that they had just said, they said also, greetings and thank you and goodbye 5,000 plus miles away. And then found out they're on the Canary Islands. On the Canary Islands, there's an active volcano where it's actively threatening people's lives. People are losing their homes. This person's parents are one of those people that is in danger of losing their home. Why would people live in Apple Rock? The person I was talking to lives in Apple Rock. This volcano is actively rampaging through the town and eating, if not the people, at least the places to live. Why do people live where they live? Why would people live in Apple Rock? Why do people live in the Canary Islands? Why do people live on top of a fault line? Why do people live in places, around Yellowstone National Park? Why do we live where we live? We rationalize it. It didn't blow up and kill me yesterday. It hasn't blown up and killed anyone yet. It probably won't blow up and kill anyone today. The fault didn't crack. The earthquake hasn't killed anyone. It probably won't kill anyone today. Apple Rock only eats like 600-700 people every time it rampages lately. And as long as it eats someone else, that's fine. There's 20,000 people in Apple Rock. People gotta live somewhere. And most people live where they live because that's where their parents lived and everyone before them lived. And the people that live in the Razor's Edge, especially places like Apple Rock and all that, you could look in the dictionary under things like contrary, stubborn, in encyclopedias for the phrases like digging in your heels. These were people that sort of defined these dictionary definitions, and they dug in their heels and they settled the Razor's Edge. And the people that live there now are the descendants of very contrary, very stubborn people. But why do you live where you live? Well, you live where you live usually because your parents lived there. So that was just an interesting conversation. It was interesting to find someone who is effectively living in Apple Rock as the Apple Rock thing is rampaging, and then asking me why in my stories people would live in Apple Rock. So, no shame on the person, none at all. Again, I live in Apple Rock too. It's just rampaging much, much slower here in Washington State. So, there are some other things as well. This has to do with the whole murder thing, and it's going to tie in with another thing as well. I did some thumbnails and such for, I do a bit of gaming stuff, no great amount of call for it, but I do it to provide form and structure. And while playing this very calm, relaxing game that you can do fun things in and just engage in madness, I guess for Halloween, I decided for whatever reason to really go into clickbaitiness. And so I was laughing the first day when I did a hunting the homeless with an axe sort of thumbnail and picture for that one. And then I really leaned into it for the thumbnail of the next one, which was, hey, you can just pick up trash in the game. But this one picture, it kind of looked like a thing that you'd stuff a corpse into after you dismembered it with an axe. So of course it was storing corpses in plastic bags as the thumbnail. You don't do anything like that in the game. You're picking up trash and renovating a train station. You're not hacking up the homeless and storing their corpses in plastic bags. But of course the title for it was, I'm going to need more body bags. Very clickbaity. I mean, it's not going to attract any more views, but it was just leaning into darkness. Which, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show the picture, if I'll be able to remember this one. I've talked about how I watched this one fellow who does map stuff. A lot of map stuff. I mean, he just basically streams and reacts to map stuff. But he also does these weirder other memes that he reacts to, and one of them was about how language trends. Now, language trends, and when language trends in different times, it's not about, the words don't mean the same thing at all, in the slightest. But back in around 1863, the term Poggers, now I don't know what the term Poggers meant at the time, but the term Poggers really trended. That was also about the time that Lincoln was assassinated. And so there are a whole bunch of really dumb memes about the term Poggers, about the war, the Civil War, and all this. And then they showed another picture that hopefully I've got up here. The guy that was doing the thing started to laugh because it's so awful. And I laughed until I was out of breath. I mean, when I reacted to the song Acid Rain by Lorne, I was devastated in the video. In the reaction, I was crying. It took me days to get over that. And it was a video where the dancers and all that, they did not survive. And it devastated me. And this one meme where, it's like, I went and, as they say, oofed, a couple Confederate soldiers, Poggers, and all this Poggers, and then, I think, I don't have it in front of me, but it's like having Lincoln say, this theater show is going to be Poggers, with Booth aiming the thing at his head. I laughed myself sick. All death is a tragedy. Murder is a violation. As much as I write about death being funny, as much as I write about, how horrific it can be on the razor's edge and how dangerous it can be to live there, at the same time as I think it's funny to murder people in music videos, and I'd like to read comics where people are blasted apart like meat piñatas. The more dead, the better. At the same time, death is funny, and death is devastating. Which is a quick thing I had remembered. There was this one person that was talking, it was like a political debunking thing, and I can't remember exactly if it was like a religious political thing, because a lot of religious people are delving into politics, and that's not good. But they were talking, let's see if I can remember. Yes, about they talk about how, the left is nihilistic and the left is evil and the left is bad because they don't believe in this sort of thing. And it's like, they started talking about nihilism and how there's positive nihilism. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm an optimistic nihilist. I do not think that there is no purpose in our universe. There is no purpose to our existence. There is no purpose to anything. But that's not bad. That allows you to make your own purpose. Your life is yours. Your life is yours to make of it what you will. Your reason is yours. You make of it what you will. And I was like, yeah, perfect. That lines in exactly with what it was. And then he continued with, well, he, they, I can't remember which pronouns they used, but then went on with, like, yeah, they hit it on the nail again with, like, the things that we make mean nothing. It's our touch and impact on other lives, though, that is everything. And it was like, this person got it. Got me wrapped up in a nutshell. And that's cool. There's more I want to talk about, but I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. More than 0 comments, far less than 25. So I'm going to go through and thank these people that have left me comments. Greatly appreciated. And if I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and even though I count American Sign Language, hey, my memory's getting better. I do not know what my limits are. I am going to hit them one day, but for right now, I'm doing pretty good. Ice Damon, thumbs up and thank you. Good to see you. Kurai Abernathy, definitely good to see you in the comments. Thank you. We have Confused Owl 29. Definitely good to see you in the comments as well. Thank you. Jocelyn Williams, Hokey Smokes 20 hours. Here's hoping things get better. We have Wumbo. Thank you very, very much for the comments and the suggestion. We have Flora Mew. Always good to see you in the comments as well. Lucifer, it's been a while, but good to see you in the comments. And thank you very, very much. And that is it. We had 7 people that left me comments on my videos in the last 24 hours. Again, greater than 0. Greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. For a brief time, you get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with other people, if only in text. Greatly appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. And with my hands in the air, I do not know what device you're watching this on, so I do not know where the video description is, but inside of it there are links to things like my other channels. If you could check those out, that would be very cool. Also, I have links to things like my Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and if you could again become a patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. It's literally, these are the only reason that I have a roof over my head. These people are the only reason I have a roof over my head, food in my belly, and moving pets. Thank you so very, very much. It is appreciated to no end. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I also have a link to my PayPal, because I am not above grubbing for your spare cash. When you got next to nothing, anything helps. And if you'd like to help me out without sending anything financially that way, I have an Amazon wish list link with things like cat food, and I need to put hamster bedding on it. So that would be very cool if you could check it out. Now, of course, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled, and if you cannot, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest. So thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, a definite thumbs up, and of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool and greatly appreciated. A definite thumbs up. Well, Hokey Smokes, it's the weekend when I'm recording this, I believe. It is Saturday morning as I am recording. It was kind of a slower next 2 days, but I'm going to do my best to be creative, as you should as well. You want to keep your brain well lubricated with thought. Stave off dementia. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Seek positivity. I spent way too many years as a negative person, and it only hurts yourself and others. And seek balance. Hokey Smokes. Bouncing off the edges is no good. You need to be on an even keel in the middle. Moderation in all things, especially mood. Hokey Smokes. So, with the cavete bug still raging, please, if you don't have to go out amongst others, don't. If you do, please maintain your social distancing, wear a mask, wash your hands often, try not to touch your face, get vaxxed if you haven't and you can medically be. I understand anxiety, I understand fear. Get the jab. And if there's a booster available for you, please get that. It is a good idea. Right now, 99% of everybody who dies from this is unvaxxed. The disease doesn't care. It just wants to spread. Be smart. Survive this. Don't suffer the negative consequences for the rest of your life. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is the definite thumbs up.